Hello, thank you for joining me today. It's been a long time. I just had a few days at home and I thought I'd just quickly do a little video about September, the remainder of the days of September. We've still got quite a long way to go before September 2023 ends. And the reason why I thought I'd just do this, A, because I have time, and B, because, wow, everything is about Leo currently. So let's have a little look and see what's going on. I'm not completely, what do you call it? I'm not completely ready for everything. But yeah, as I was looking, I'm going to go back so you can just see, like, if I go back to today, which is the 7th. Okay, so although I will do this for, you know, all the ascendants, but I just wanted you to just see what the focus is very much on Leo. So wherever Leo is in your chart, it's really good to give it some energy, because Jupiter and Rahu are actually aspecting, as is Saturn, and they're both retrograde in the sense that there is like some work to be done behind the scenes, not just in those, you know, like so wherever that sign is, like Aries and also Capricorn, you're going back and redoing some things. Maybe thinking about, you know, whatever area of your life that kind of sign represents, and how you can go back and just finalize certain things. And so obviously in the sign also we have Mercury retrograde again, you know, more to do, and because obviously all these planets are retrograde, so they are reflecting and reviewing and reassessing everything. And they all have an influence on Leo. Sun, the ruler of the sign, is also there till a little bit like middle of the month. So it's an important time. And not only that, we have Venus from one side and Mars on the other side hemming the sign as well. So, you know, there are things to wonder about. And Leo in itself is all about creativity, children, and expressing yourself. Is highly artistic. So it's, if you think the third house is how you express yourself, etc., third houses, 3 houses from the third house is your 5th house. So it's extreme creativity. It's all those talents that one can express, and it's all forms of things like film and photography, education, academic education. It's teaching, being a teacher, being an advisor, consultant, and singing, playing instruments, writing. Everything can be embraced within Leo. Leo is also where we like to have some form of, if you like, it's the palace. It's so, for example, somebody who has 4th house, which will be like a Taurus Ascendant, 4th house is Leo. So they like to have a home. That's very important. They like to have a fixed abode, because obviously this sign is a fixed sign, and it's also because it's ruled by the king. They want to feel at ease at home. They'll probably spend quite a lot of time at home. So all those kind of things are very important. Look at your 4th house, whatever ascendant you are, and just, you know, spend some time thinking about it. Mars has already been in Leo. Venus was in there and retrograded back into Cancer. So there's a lot going on regarding this sign. So, and also the new moon will occur in this sign. So lots of things going on about Leo. Okay, so I'm just going to stop this and just carry on with the ascendants. Thank you. Hello, this video is for Taurus Ascendant or Taurus Moon using a sidereal zodiac for the month of September 2023. But clearly we are a week into it. So apologies for the, you know, I just had some time and I thought I'd just quickly do these videos for you guys. Anyway, I hope you're all well. And in the UK, we actually have a summer, which is fantastic. So the weather has been quite warm, scorch here, as they say. Anyway, let's start. So we start with the month with your ruler of your first and sixth house, Venus, is in the third house. It's in Cancer, which is a nice soft family sign. So it just means that you actually are looking after family, doing nice things with friends. Third house is it's a house of like joy, really, because you're quite active. You could be swimming or singing, dancing, watching, going to see bands, maybe even taking up an instrument and playing it. It's lovely. So it's really want to be like communicative and communicating in a really nice way too. And obviously it's also your sixth house ruler too, so it could just be that if there is a friend in need or anything, you're there to help them, be of service to those people too. Now also at the same time we have Saturn is going to be in your what would be your 10th house for for a while now. So literally your yoga karaka planet, 9th and 10th house ruler, is in the 10th house, creating a Raj Yoga, Mahapurusha Yoga, a Sasha Yoga. So it's literally very, very strong position for Saturn to be in that situation. So it's in your 10th house. So your job is you're being much more conscientious, much more aware of others. You want to be helping out in the community, hardworking as well. Being retrograde, you're actually going back and revisiting things that you might have not finished to actually finalize them. But Saturn gives you like it's a hard worker. And in the 4th house you have Mercury and the Sun, and what it means is basically having Sun and Saturn opposite each other. You just got to be careful not to overdo things. Sun is where our ego resides, and this the two planets don't really get on so well. So just be aware of yourself, be aware that you don't actually be aware of your mom as well, your dad, because this time just because it's your 4th house, and Saturn is after all a malefic planet, so just be aware of that. And also you have Rahu and Jupiter, both of them aspecting your 4th house. So 8th house is breakages, accidents, and also you have so it could be like, just don't do things too fast, if you like. Just take your time doing things. Don't overwork. So when you feel you're tired, take time out, go for a walk, be in nature, ground yourself, which is a wonderful way of actually connecting to the planet. Is just put your bare feet onto the grass and just allow that lovely negative ions to go within you, and it's really good for your circulation. It's very good inflammation and just your mood as well. And so yeah, it's good to just take time. If you're tired, have a bath, relax, all that kind of stuff. So in your Saturn, obviously from there is your 9th house ruler aspect in your 4th house. So that's a Raj Yoga. It's also 10th house ruler aspect in 5th house ruler Mercury. That's another Raj Yoga. Is 2nd house ruler aspect in 9th house ruler Mercury and Saturn. So that's another 2 Dhan Yoga. So there's multiple good things going on there. But everything will be quite unexpected, because there's a lot going on with your 4th house, which is Leo. Saturn is aspecting it, Jupiter and Rahu are aspecting it, Sun is in there, Mercury is in there. So there's a lot of energy being put in there. So just obviously you could also change things, because 8th house stuff that Jupiter can bring. You could also gain a home during this time too, because of where Jupiter and Rahu both are. And you also have Saturn aspecting what would be Scorpio, which for you is like your 7th house. So that also means that it's kind of giving energy to your 7th house. It just means that you're much more kind of aware and about relationships, about your public image, and wanting, if you're single, you want to meet somebody. If you are in a relationship, you want to make it much more serious, take the next step, maybe move in together, or getting engaged or something, getting married. And also, don't forget, this is like 9th house ruler aspecting your 7th house, so that's another Raj Yoga too. And that's a nice place for Saturn to be aspecting, because it also gets directional strength there in the 7th house. Saturn is also aspecting your 12th house, so obviously you want you to end the job, or maybe do a job which is more community based, more spiritual, more about helping others. Although I have to keep saying this, I don't really believe in big charities. I don't actually think most of the money goes to people, so I'm always very wary of them. So yeah, you know, it's always better to actually, I mean, here what I do, if I am going to give something, just find out what they need. If they need a pair of shoes or something, and just you and your friends can raise the money and give them to them, you know, speaking to them. They might need, like homeless people might need, like toiletries, toothbrushes and toothpaste, underwear, stuff like that. So that's so much easier if we do that and then cut out the middleman. And so yeah, so you kind of want to be more community based, helping others, that kind of thing. You know, Jupiter is, after all, your 11th house ruler. And also what happens is Rahu is also in your 10th house ruler, co-ruler in the 12th house. So for some people work might have been a little bit kind of hazy there, because 12th house is now being occupied by the 10th house ruler. So it could be that you have not been able to work in the industry that you want to work in as well. So it's like, gives you a little bit like a job, but maybe not a job that's that satisfactory really. But if you are doing something which is like behind the scenes, and you know, working abroad and stuff like that, those could be also themes for this too. And then we also have Jupiter is, as well as obviously aspecting the 4th house, which could mean obviously gaining a home. With Rahu means gaining a home in a foreign place, but it's both of them are aspecting your 6th house. Sorry, not both of them, I should say, because Ketu is there. But basically, Jupiter is aspecting your 6th house. So what it does, it helps you with health and healing. It helps you with if you've got an elder sibling, you know, you can help them if they're feeling poorly to actually recoup from it. It's also, you know, it could be that if there are any your friends of yours that you just want to do more meaningful jobs, you know, like maybe you are growing vegetables together, you know, just like a co-op. So you just, all of you chipping in together and doing things that are really good for yourselves and good for you know, it's a really nice way of doing things together. It could also be competitive sports, 11th house ruler aspect in the 6th house. But generally, if you have got any debts or any debts, any discord with anyone, any sort of sticky situation, health issues, Jupiter will help you get over those problems for sure during this time. And also from there is aspect in Sagittarius, which is the 8th house. So any changes will be with love, and the transformation will be for the betterment really. Also Rahu is aspect in your 8th house too, which like makes it so there are the chances of changes and everything else. You probably have got used to it, because you're, for one thing, you know, Rahu has been in your 12th house aspect in your 8th house for some time now, over a year. And also your 8th house is a movable sign, so you're not so you know, you're okay with change. You're not so fixed, and you don't worry about changes. You embrace them quite easily. Okay, so Ketu is obviously during this time is in your 6th house. So it just means that you're dealing and putting aside all those diseases that were basically were you know, like if you had like I don't know, say for example a bad back, you're dealing with that now. You're getting that out of the way and sorting it out once and for all. You're doing your exercises, your stretches, you're eating well, and you're checking your maybe sleep positions, your pillow, etc. You want to deal with the issue and cut it out completely. Mars for you rules your 7th and 12th house. So Mars is 7th house ruler in the 5th house, so it creates a lovely Raj Yoga for you. And from there is aspect in your 8th house. So it could be changes in your education, you could suddenly do some form of like a romance, blind date or something like that. Or you could just become much more amorous and loving towards your partner, and just kicks in this new energy into your love life. And from there is also aspect in what would be your 11th house. So it's like 7th house rule aspect in your 11th house, gain of a relationship, and also aspect in the 12th house, own signs, so protecting that too. So there could be some changes, and because also what happens is 12th house ruler is aspect in the 12th house, is protecting it. It just means that, you know, if you're spending, obviously Jupiter's bringing the money, you're spending the money, but it's probably, you know, it's, don't worry about it because things will work out, if you like, that sort of thing. But obviously always be careful with Mars and Jupiter, really, when it comes to because Jupiter is idealistic, everything will be okay. Mars does things without necessarily thinking about them, so just be aware of that, you know. But you know, in life we do have to have a, you know, a balance as well. Right, so let's tackle it now. I think I've done all of that. So we start with a month, obviously 3 retrograde planets. Now we're going to just kind of watch the moon. So we're going to go to the 10th. This is when Moon and Venus are together now. So you have a conjunction of 2 soft planets in the 3rd house. So this is a really nice time to you know, when you're working with females or with mothers, or with doing something for your own mother or your sister, it's totally from love and you're being of service to them. Maybe cook something for your mom, invite your sister over, or, you know, just doing things for the family and really enjoying it, because Cancer is, after all, sign of the family. It's a really nice time to talk things out if there are things that maybe have been brushed under the carpet for a while and they need just tackling with love and light, and this will be the perfect time. And you know, Venus gives you grace when you speak during this time too, and if you ask the universe to help you, give you inspired speech, then you can, you know, tie up all those loose ends with grace, really. And then we have Moon goes into the 4th house. The Moon now has directional strength, and this brings together what would be like 3rd, 4th, 2nd and 5th house ruler. So and we just kind of Moon in Leo, and the next day we actually go into this new moon in your 4th house. So really it's all about emotional security, about your feelings, wanting to be secure, wanting to be happy, want to be receptive. It's about romance, your children, your family, all those important things, your friends and siblings. You're really thinking about those very personal houses within the chart, really. So what would be like second, 3rd, 4th and 5th houses, very, very personal houses, very private. So you just, you know, this is where you want to put your energy into, really. So spending quality time with them, and telling them that you love them, all those things that make you really happy. Indeed, you never go to, you know, to your grave thinking, oh, I wish I had worked more. So this is like really having those moments of making the most of things. So that's the focus for the next couple of weeks, really. At the same time, obviously, Mars is still in your 5th house, so putting energy into fun and creativity. And then what happens, Moon goes into kind of 15, 16. Moon goes into what would be like your 5th house. So 3rd house, we're in the 5th house, very expressive. And, you know, you want to communicate with your partner, you want to communicate with your younger brothers and sisters and your family, and do fun things with them. Go out together, go to a gallery, go for a walk, go for a picnic, etc. Travel even. Mercury also goes direct simultaneously during this time. Then we have Moon then goes into the 6th house, 3rd house ruler in the 6th house with Ketu. So this gives very nice, gives you kind of psychic powers, really, Moon being with Ketu. And if you just take time out and really sort of meditate on it, you'll be surprised how many answers you get. Sun at the same time goes into your 5th house. The 4th house ruler in the 5th house creates a lovely Raj Yoga there. And so going back now with, actually just wanted to say that Sun is very, does well in Virgo, but now you've got 2 fiery planets in the 5th house. So I would say, you want to be careful there because they're both quite fiery. So obviously goes lots of energy goes into your 5th house, which is romance and fun, academic education, those kind of things. With your children, you want to be careful with children and students, and if you're an advisor or consultant, just be cautious, because obviously Sun is also your ego, and we don't want to be like overly sort of like egotistical with our own children as well. I'm saying this, but I'm saying this to myself too. And yes, it's important to kind of be aware, every ascendant, to just be aware of Sun being opposite Saturn till the 17th, and then after that being with Mars, because Mars is energy and Sun is ego. So it could be, so we just got, although they work well together, it's the soldier and the king, but just awareness is always good. Now Jupiter is also aspecting the 6th house, so helping the Moon greatly, really. And then the next day we have Moon in Swati, which is a great day, as well as the 1st of October, 2 days that you can actually put your intentions out. So on white piece of paper, blue ink, you give gratitude for all the blessings in your life, and then you also write down in detail all the things that you want to actually bring about, manifest in detail. Don't leave anything out. If you want a job, what type of job, what part of the city, where do you want to walk there, do you want to catch a bus, what sort of pension, what sort of salary, what kind of colleagues you want to work with, etc., etc. Just be very specific. And so this is a day that you can manifest, and then you put it in the northwest of your property or your room. And obviously Jupiter is helping that. So if you have somebody in a family not well, it's nice to spend the time with them, looking after them, bit of home cooking, and lovely family chat always helps. Moon in Scorpio for a couple of days, so this 3rd house ruler in 7th house, chatty with partner. And then for a couple of days we have Moon in Sagittarius, which is your 8th house. A very, transformations can happen during this time. You can really let go of emotions that no longer serve you, using the planets in that way. And Mars will also give that energy to you as well. And then we have Moon and Venus opposite each other, which is lovely. So 3rd and 9th house are activated by 2 benefics, although Venus is obviously not a good planet because it's 6th house ruler as well. So Taurus Ascendant, all the time they have to work really hard at not being hard on themselves, not to be too critical of themselves, and they're hardworking and they do so much for other people, but they can really be too much of a because obviously their 10th house ruler is Saturn, so they could be a little bit too focused on doing and always doing, so they forget and they run themselves like a machine. So it's really good to just be aware of yourself and use these energies for yourself, for the betterment of your quality of life. Just being, enjoying, going for walks with friends or your family or something, and just enjoying. You don't have to do a couple of jobs along the way. Just be in the moment. Then Moon with Saturn for a couple of days there. So this is like 2nd house ruler in the 10th house, but it's with the 9th house. So it's a nice Dhan Yoga created there for you. And Then we have, it's also 5th house ruler aspect in your 2nd house ruler and 5th house ruler aspect in your 10th house ruler. So really good Raja and Dhan Yogas going on there too. And then we finish the month really with Moon being in your 11th house. So, you know, this is lovely, high quality. Oh, I just noticed that the Ascendant had moved. Sorry, let me just get that back. Yeah, so this is, you can't get any better than that really. So I said Dhan Yoga, I don't mean in that way. So this is a very desire-based time. So 3rd house ruler in the 11th house. So it just means that you want to be connecting with your friends, with your groups, with your networks, and really having fun. This is desire kind of thing. And also at this point now, it's actually going into the full moon. So the full moon will be all about gains and money and groups and really communicating with others, connecting with others on a good level. And also it brings together like 7th house and 4th house as well. So, you know, like a situation where you just want to really work and just be happy, being with others, connecting with others will make you happy. So really try to book a few things and do a few things with your friends. And, you know, this could also lead, if you're single, you could meet somebody. If you are with somebody, you could do some fun stuff in a big group together with your friends and have fun, like, you know, do some games and stuff, and maybe even a little holiday weekend away, spa or something like that. So that'd be lovely, because you want to be around people. This is like 2 desire houses, 3rd and 11th house, you know, coming together at this point. So and also 7th house ruler, Mars, that's another house that's desire based too. So yeah, the Kama houses become active because of this full moon. Enjoy it, and thank you very much. Thank you.